Hello viewers, welcome to Bullseye Movies. Meemaw's long-awaited return to Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is finally on the horizon, but all signs suggest that when Connie Tucker steps back into the picture, she won't be doing so under particularly reassuring circumstances. While she may not technically be a Cooper by blood, Meemaw has always functioned as one of the emotional pillars of the family, both in young Sheldon and across the wider Big Bang Theory universe. Annie Potts' portrayal of Connie gave the character a vibrant, rebellious edge that distinguished her sharply from the more subdued, elderly version played by June Squibb in The Big Bang Theory. That creative choice allowed Meemaw to feel fully alive in young Sheldon, ensuring that Sheldon's grandmother was not just a nostalgic footnote, but a dynamic presence whose story could continue even after Sheldon himself left Texas for California. Because Georgie and Mandy's first marriage remains firmly rooted in the same small Texas town, the series naturally inherits many of the emotional and narrative threads left dangling after young Sheldon ended. The show doesn't simply focus on Georgie, Mandy, and baby CC in isolation. Instead, it regularly pulls in familiar faces from the Cooper orbit, reinforcing the sense that this is still very much the same world fans have been following for years. Mary and Missy have already made appearances in Season 2, grounding the spin-off in its family roots. Yet one absence has been especially noticeable: Meemaw. For a character who once felt nearly omnipresent in Sheldon's life, and later Georgie's, it has been strange not to see Connie involved in the couple's new chapter. That absence, however, is about to end. It has now been confirmed that Annie Potts will reprise her role as Meemaw in the second half of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2. While that news alone is enough to excite longtime fans, the details surrounding her return add a layer of unease. Potts herself has hinted that Connie's reappearance won't be a calm or comforting one. In interviews, she has suggested that Meemaw is once again entangled in questionable schemes, implying that the character hasn't exactly turned over a new leaf since viewers last saw her. According to Potts, Connie simply can't resist the allure of easy money and rule-bending ventures, describing her as someone who is always just one step away from another grift. That description feels painfully consistent with everything audiences already know about this version of Meemaw. Unlike the older, more measured Connie glimpsed in The Big Bang Theory, the younger incarnation introduced in young Sheldon was far more impulsive and daring, particularly when it came to finances. Gambling, in all its forms, was a defining trait of her character. Whether it was bingo halls, betting pools, or more elaborate setups, Meemaw consistently sought out ways to test her luck, and sometimes the law. One of the most memorable examples of this was her involvement in running an illegal gambling room alongside Georgie, a storyline that highlighted both her entrepreneurial spirit and her willingness to cross ethical and legal boundaries. That operation, unsurprisingly, was eventually shut down, forcing Connie to look elsewhere for income. Rather than learning from that experience, however, Meemaw seemed to treat it as just another setback. Her knack for finding new hustles never truly disappeared. The last time viewers saw her in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, she was attempting to launch a sports betting venture, once again skirting legality in her pursuit of profit. That plan caused friction in her relationship with Dale, who reacted strongly when he discovered what she was up to. Their argument underscored a recurring pattern in Connie's life. Her schemes don't just put her at risk, they also strain her relationships with the people who care about her most. Given this history, it's hardly shocking that Meemaw's return comes with fresh trouble attached. Still, there's a sense of disappointment in watching Connie fall back into familiar habits. Over the years, she's faced consequences, warnings, and near misses that should have encouraged her to reconsider her approach. Instead, she continues to flirt with danger, seemingly convinced that she's clever enough to stay one step ahead of the fallout. The concern now is that her luck may finally be running out. If her new schemes escalate or attract the wrong kind of attention, Connie could find herself in a legal situation far more serious than anything she's faced before, one she may not be able to charm or gamble her way out of. At the same time, there is, at least, some comfort in knowing that Connie isn't entirely alone. Meemaw and Dale are still together in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2, suggesting that she has someone in her corner who genuinely cares about her well-being. Dale has often acted as a counterbalance to Connie's risk-taking tendencies, even if he hasn't always been successful in reining her in. Their relationship provides a measure of stability, or at least the illusion of it. However, that stability could also prove fragile. If Meemaw continues to isolate herself from people who might hold her accountable, or if she keeps her activities hidden, Dale's presence may not be enough to prevent serious consequences. What makes this storyline particularly intriguing is how it fits into the broader themes of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. The show frequently explores the tension between responsibility and impulse, especially as it relates to adulthood, marriage, and parenthood. Georgie and Mandy are still figuring out what it means to build a stable life together, even as they're surrounded by examples of how easily things can go wrong. Meemaw's struggles could serve as a cautionary mirror, highlighting the long-term costs of avoiding accountability and relying too heavily on risky shortcuts. At the same time, there's hope that Connie's return won't be solely defined by trouble. Young Sheldon often used Meemaw's schemes as a source of humor, balancing their seriousness with warmth and wit. It's possible that Georgie and Mandy's first marriage will strike a similar tone, allowing Connie's antics to add levity without pushing her into truly irreversible territory. Fans may be eager to see her interact with baby CC, reconnect with Georgie, or even clash with Mandy in ways that reveal new sides of all involved. Still, the underlying concern remains: how long can Meemaw keep walking this line? Each new scheme raises the stakes, and each brush with illegality narrows her margin for error. If the show chooses to confront this head-on, Connie's storyline could become one of the most emotionally resonant arcs of the season, forcing her, and those around her, to reckon with the limits of charm, luck, and resilience. Ultimately, Meemaw's return promises both familiarity and uncertainty. She's the same sharp-tongued, hustling grandmother fans have always known, but she's also older, more entrenched in her habits, and potentially closer to a breaking point. Whether her latest misadventures will result in growth, heartbreak, or yet another narrow escape remains to be seen. What's clear is that Connie Tucker's presence will once again ripple through the lives of everyone around her, reminding viewers why Meemaw has always been one of the most unforgettable figures in the young Sheldon universe. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on our channel for more recaps.